Indian Navy commandos rescue all crew, including 15 Indian on-board hijacked vessel off the Somalian coast. Pirates flee after Navy commandos warning. ED team attacked in Bengal in midst of raids against TMC Neta. BJP demands NIA probe. Bengal governor meets officers. Claims law and order in disarray under Mamata Banerjee. There's been a big ED crackdown in Haryana. Illegal foreign weapons, ammunitions and 5 crore cash seized from an ex-Congress MLA, Dilbag Singh's residence. Ram Mandir politics escalates just days ahead of consecration. NCP Supremo Sharad Pawar hurls a Gaumutra jibe at Modi government. BJP calls him anti-Hindu. After statewide protests by the BJP in Karnataka, Hubli court grants conditional bail to Kar Sevak Shrikant Pujari. India alliance split continues, though it seems that the Congress now ready to give more elbow room to its allies. JDU calls clamour to appoint Nitish as convener a conspiracy. TMC state-level Congress unit continue to spar. CBI moves Karnataka High Court against the Congress government's decision to revoke the disproportionate assets case against Deputy CM DK Shiv Kumar. TKS claims harassment by CBI. Indian economy poised to see a strong growth pattern. As per advance estimates, government pegs India's GDP will grow by 7.3% for this financial year. And ICC announces schedule for the 2024 T20 World Cup. Rivals India and Pakistan to lock horns in New York on June 9th. All right, let's quickly cut across to the news break that is filtering in right on the top of 9. First, an exclusive visuals, viewers, coming in. Images of the Navy rescue off the Somalian coast. Navy Marcos seen on board MV Lalla, Norfolk. All crew, including 15 on board the hijacked vessel, have been secured and are safe. The Indian warship launched a helicopter and issued warnings to pirates to abandon the hijacked vessels, which they did. The Navy informed the hijacked vessel MV Lalla, Norfolk has been kept under surveillance by its maritime patrol aircraft and Predator drone in the Arabian Sea. These are the latest visuals that are coming in. Let me quickly cut across to our senior executive editor, Shiv Arur, who's joining us in the newsroom to take us through these visuals. Over to you, Shiv.
Preeti, an amazing example of the modern battlefield. These are heavily armed marine commandos from an Indian naval destroyer that was deployed for anti-piracy missions precisely of this kind earlier, a couple of weeks ago, and it's been called to action. This was a ship that was sailing from Brazil to Bahrain. It was hijacked by pirates off the Somalian coast. This Indian destroyer deposited those marine commandos who you can see in these visuals. You can see their weapons as well as they make their way through the ship. Not very clear images, but we're told that these images have been filmed from a Predator-type drone that was deployed from Tamil Nadu, in fact, and was keeping a constant eye on the scene of action in the Arabian Sea. So it's very interesting to see how the Marine Commandos managed to conduct a very, very clean operation, Preeti. They were on board for only a few hours. We're not sure if they're still on board, but we can confirm that the crew, including the 15 Indians, are completely secured. The ship is safe, and the pirates have actually been deboarded, or they've left after a particular warning. So there was no firing. We don't know if any shots were actually fired, but this was a textbook anti-piracy operation of the kind that the Indian Navy has been called upon many times in the past, and they've demonstrated once again why the Marine Commandos in this particular region are really one of the best forces for this kind of mission, Preeti.
Thanks, Shiv, for joining us. Appreciate it. With all the latest coming in, you can see those visuals, exclusive visuals of the pirates fleeing after the Indian Navy warning. What we have been given to understand that everyone on board is safe. The pirates have fled.
Ram Ram Mandir opening on January 22nd. Prime Minister Modi to attend Ayodhya consecration. BJP calls for nationwide celebration. Deep Utsav to mark temple opening. BJP bid to make 2024 Mandir election. Attend or skip, Mandir dilemma for opposition. Ayodhya matter of faith or politics. Mandir and elections roundtable.
All right, so this is a special broadcast. The Ram Mandir set to be opened on January 22nd, a culmination years of political and court battles that have lasted so many decades. The Bharatiya Janata Party, which officially joined the Ram Janmabhoomi movement in 1989, is pulling out all the stops to make the inauguration of the Ram temple a nationwide celebration. Prime Minister Modi, who will attend the consecration, is leading the celebrations. He's appealed to all Indians to light lamps at homes when the idol is installed inside the temple. The BJP will obviously make Ayodhya temple an election issue, which leaves the opposition with a dilemma: how to counter BJP's Mandir card, how to counter it. Well, we are joined today by a special guest who in the course of the next 1 hour will decode the Mandir effect on the biggest battle electoral of this year, 2024 Lok Sabha elections. So let's immediately cut across to our panelists this evening. Joining me, Sanjay Kumar, co-director, Logniti, CSTS and psephologist, Dr. Sandeep Shastri, national coordinator, Lokniti Network, Ashutosh, columnist, author, political analyst, Sanjay Singh, senior journalist and analyst, Sanjay Jha, political analyst, Amitabh Tiwari, political strategist and commentator. Sanjay Kumar, to begin with you, for somebody associated with psephology, how do you see it play out this time? Do you see the Ram Mandir becoming the biggest narrative of the Bharatiya Janata Party, or do you see it tying into a firm Prime Minister face who's there? Modi's guarantee, one of them, the Ram Mandir delivered right now, tying into the Viksit Bharat Sankalp Yatra, the La Bharati factor.
A combination of all these, Preeti, but I think the biggest mobilizing factor for 2024 election in favor of BJP is certainly going to be the Ram Mandir. Look at the way BJP is trying to build up the inauguration of Ram Mandir on 22nd of January, and the plans which is already in the public domain, that from 25th of January till 25th of March, for the next 2 months, how BJP Karyakartas are reaching out to people across 543 parliamentary constituency, facilitating their visit to Ayodhya. So I think if you look at the preparation of BJP before the inauguration of the Ram temple and after the follow-up, I'm pretty certain that this is going to be the biggest issue for BJP in 2024 Lok Sabha elections, and they would try and mobilize the voters on this big issue. They will also try and invoke other issues which you have already mentioned, but this is going to be the biggest issue for BJP in 2024.
Dr. Sandeep Shastri, do you agree with Mr. Kumar? Because every electoral issue has a shelf life. Do you think the Bharatiya Janata Party has maximized the Mandir card, if I might just put it, in very technical terms, if we are talking about elections? Because if you look at it, when he goes to the south, the Prime Minister, he doesn't really talk about the Mandir. That is where hopefully for the BJP, the gains will come from. The Hindi heartland was already maximized in 2019.
Preeti, I would broadly agree with what Sanjay ji has just said, but also add to your comment which you just now made. Any election sees a combination of factors. If you look at it from the BJP's perspective, as I have said in your program few days back, I think their agenda for the 2024 election consists of 4 important M's. Mandir, definitely the first M, which is now increasingly gaining relevance. By passing the women's reservation bill, they are hoping the Mahila factor also will go in their favor. along with all the development schemes. The third M, of course, is the leadership, Modi's own leadership. And the fourth, which they would like to project, is, I think, the factor of majboori, that people have no choice but to vote for them given what is ranged against them. So I think, yes, the Mandir factor will be an important factor, but I will underscore the point, Preeti, it is a factor and not the factor. On the other hand, the Congress is talking about 3 Ds. It is talking about democracy, it is talking about diversity, and it is talking about fighting divisiveness. Now, between these two narratives, which one is going to capture the imagination of the voter would be important. Would it be the 4 M's or would it be the 3 D's is, I think, what in the coming weeks we will see playing out.
Let's cut across to Mr. Amitabh Tiwari in all of this. Mr. Amitabh Tiwari, you've been a man of numbers. What's so different this time around? Because, if you go back to history, and of course it's very, very different, the political landscape, the elections are very different. But even if you look at where the Ram movement was at its peak, when, after the Babri Masjid demolition, the BJP actually did abysmally, even in a state like Uttar Pradesh, electorally. What's so different this time around for the Bharatiya Janata Party? Many would say, the Mandir was already maximized in 2019.
Actually, the Mandir has not been maximized. The only time it has been maximized, perhaps, is in the 1991 UP state election. See, it is largely going to impact the ideologically aligned voters. That's correct. However, since it is one of the long-term pending promises of the BJP, what it is going to do perhaps is to consolidate this vote bank, number one. It could even lead to a higher turnout amongst this vote bank. The party hopes that it has a rub-off effect on the neutral voters. And in the Hindi heartland, where the party did fantastically well last time, there were also apprehensions being raised that the party could actually see some declines. So what this issue does is that it helps party maintain its tally in the Hindi heartland and even probably increase its tally in Uttar Pradesh, where the Mandir is being inaugurated and where the party suffered actually losses, a loss of 9 seats in 2019. So all in all, it will help, or it is likely to help the BJP consolidate the Hindutva vote bank and help it retain its 2019 tally of the Hindi heartland. See, if it has won more than 80% of seats in the Hindi heartland, 70 to 80% last time, and if it is able to repeat, because it works on an 80-20 principle, so it has got most of its seats from 20% of the states, which is just 5 to 6 states of India. And there is where the larger play will be for the BJP here.
But Sanjay Singh, the BJP is hoping to come up with a 50%. That's at least the target that they've set themselves, which has really never quite happened, 55% of the vote share this time around. Do you see them getting it at the back of, the Mandir inauguration right now, especially when you look at of what has gone down? I've given a few examples even to Mr. Tiwari, where different political landscape, but in those times at least the Mandir didn't quite leverage the BJP like it hopes it would this time around.
In fact, in previous elections, particularly the election that you are referring to, post-demolition of Babri Masjid, initially there was anger. And look at the BJP numbers from 1984 or 1985 elections, from 2 to 82 to 120 to 161 and to 182, and now what are the numbers for past 2 elections. UP, of course, they did not win then, but in national elections their number went up. And even when from 2 to 85, remember that was the period when Rajiv Gandhi had that Silanyas done and Shabano case happened. So therefore, that whole argument then was pseudo-secularism and whatnot, Ram Mandir Palampur Adhiveshan resolution was there. Now that anger post that demolition, you are right, that anger that was there against that Babri mosque was gone, and therefore they did not do well in the assembly election, but national elections were different. Now there is a whole lot of different things. There is a celebratory mood across the country. BJP is master in its art of kind of managing an event and the kind of turning that into a month-long event. 22nd, of course, is kind of consecration and inauguration happening for Ram Temple. But beyond that, there is program, special trains, people coming from across the country, so on and so forth. And prior to that, your own channel is showing so many things happening all across. The idea is, if you look at Prime Minister Modi's speech out there that particular day, he did not stop just at kind of what is going to happen in Ayodhya. Of course, there is a social economic transformation happening out there in that particular city. That is a city transformed, and so many infrastructure and other economic activities happening there. But he also talked about the schemes, his schemes, Labharti schemes, the development that is taking place, the infrastructure, the virasat of it. And therefore, that combination of whole things.
You're saying it's all going to come together perfectly for the Bharatiya Janata Party in 2024. Ashutosh, do you concur with that? Because, yes, it's the inauguration. Okay, we don't have Ashutosh. We're going to cut across to him in just about a minute. But let's bring in Sanjay Jha. Because Sanjay Jha, somewhere down the line, it ties into a bigger narrative, which is Modi hai to mumkin hai. This is a catharsis moment for the Bharatiya Janata Party. It's been on the manifesto for so many years, so many elections, and now there's final deliverance of that, and that has come under the Prime Minister Modi.
Preeti, good evening. I think I want to make a couple of points. Number one, the BJP always uses emotive subjects in any election campaign. I mean, that is a lesson that the opposition needs to learn. Hindutva is a very emotive subject that was used in 2014 and 19. And you have hyper-nationalism, ultra-nationalism, which again appeals to the common, sensibilities of any citizen in the country. Obviously, Ram Mandir is going to be a significant electoral play for the BJP, given the fact that we have a large 80% majority population in India. So clearly the BJP will ignore the fact that the Ram Temple's consecration is happening, not because they promised it in a manifesto, but because the Supreme Court heard both the sides in the dispute and came to a unanimous verdict. It's a legal verdict to which they are giving it a political hijack. The second point is equally important. I keep hearing about this Labharti and, infrastructure. Any government has, and every government has revenues, right? The taxable revenues, and some are non-taxable revenues. What do you do with that? You invest it for social welfare, for citizen beneficiaries. And obviously, it is going to result in some scheme or the other. Like the Manrega, the Food Security Act, and the number of schemes that the UPA came up with. Still, they did not win 2014. So I believe that the 2024 election...
Sanjay Jha, may I just come in and for a second disagree with you, because especially when you're on ground as a reporter, and I'll just give you a bit of field experience in all of this. I'll tell you the difference. There is a sense with the voters today that if there is Prime Minister Modi on the top and the BJP, whatever these schemes are, it will filter down to you. That kind of sense is missing in a Congress government. That trust factor, which we talk so much about, when we talk about the Prime Minister or we talk about the BJP, is missing. When we talk about a government where the Congress is in play. And I'll give you a prime example of that. When I was in Madhya Pradesh, you spoke to voters who knew that the Ladli Behna money will come to them. Ashok Gehlot had offered a lot, but there was a sense of distrust. Abhi tak nahi aaya hai, pata nahi aayega.
Well, Preeti, if I can continue, following your interjection, that is absolutely, you are absolutely right and is very relevant. That is the difference, right? The difference is that the opposition needs a better political communication strategy. I mean, the BJP is obviously helped by the RSS workers who go knocking on doors. But the truth is that many of them are government schemes that the political party leverages. And I believe that's in a democracy, these things will happen. But this is the fundamental point, that if you look at the actual numbers and why I believe 2024 is far from done and over, because even I have, by the way, a lot of people who, give me feedback from all over the country, there are serious problems. People think that unemployment is just an opposition slogan. It is not. India is facing a very serious, educated, urban and rural unemployment crisis. The second point, the farmers continue to be in a serious state of distress. There is a wipeout of the MSME sector. there are fundamental
Right,
challenges.
but Sanjay Jha, these are conversations which are great to have in studios, because somewhere down the line, I'm not talking about the hysteria associated with the inauguration of the Ram Mandir, but most of that tied into a larger narrative and a plan which is working like clockwork completely masks any of which that you're talking about, where the voters are concerned. I want to bring it.
Preeti, let me add one line.
Quickly,
that
sir.
is exactly
Yes.
the point that the opposition needs to understand, that these issues are based on statistics, policy, and programs. The way you communicate that message is going to be the key. Ultimately, it's, I think the opposition needs to realize, and I would want to convey to them through your program, that end of day, every campaign of yours needs to influence a voter emotionally. If it doesn't, all your logic, data, and statistics become meaningless.
I want to cut across to Ashutosh. He's back with us. But Ashutosh, if you look at it right now in terms of the perception that is going on, everything seeming like working completely clockwork, and the Modi juggernaut is rolling. You have the Prime Minister's as the face firmly in place. Now you have the big Ram Mandir moment, which is a cathartic moment for the Bharatiya Janata Party. Modi hai to mumkin hai delivered. A resolution which was passed in 1989 by the BJP in Palampur, coming full circle right now at this point of time. And then deliverance, La Bharati, everything is tying together in a synchronized fashion for the BJP.
Two things we have to understand. First of all, that everybody is talking about, but the fact of the matter is that Hindutva and Narendra Modi is basically a North Indian phenomenon. And I'll say three things. First of all, this Mandir episode will lead to the consolidation of Hindutva vote, not the Hindu vote. Secondly, Modi is a North Indian phenomenon, not anymore. Thirdly, there is already maximization of votes for the BJP in these states. And if you take example like Madhya Pradesh, Chhattisgarh, Rajasthan, Haryana, then Karnataka, barring excess में Karnataka, Gujarat, UP and Delhi, BJP has already scored more than 50% vote share. In these states, the Mandir issue will have an impact, there is no doubt about it. But in Chhattisgarh, where the BJP in the last time had got 50.70 vote share, it can go to 56. But will it convert into seats? It can't go beyond seats, because you have already has almost 100% 100 seats. Where the BJP is having a problem is Kerala, Tamil Nadu, Telangana, Andhra, Punjab and Odisha. And here, out of 135 seats, BJP got only 14 seats last time. I don't see these numbers increasing again.
Okay.
So why I'm saying so? Mandir is talked about. Mandir will have a maximum impact in UP, but will Mandir have the similar impact in Bihar? Despite the Hindutva phenomenon, despite the Modi phenomenon, BJP has not been able to make a breakthrough in Bihar, neither in parliamentary election nor in assembly election. In Maharashtra, again, the BJP has failed to make a breakthrough, can form the government on its own in Maharashtra. And even in a parliamentary election last time, they had to take the help of the Shiv Sena again. And this Bihar and Maharashtra, along with the 6 states, Kerala, Tamil Nadu, Telangana, Andhra, and these are in total 223 seats. Out of 223 seats, can BJP get 110 seats or 120 seats? I doubt, because last time they got only 88, only how many seats? They were just around 88 seats. So what I'm saying is that yes, we are sitting in Delhi. Ayodhya is closer to us, so we are overwhelmed by what we see. But will it have the similar impact in Tamil Nadu, in Kerala, in Odisha, in Maharashtra, in Bihar, in other areas? I doubt.
All right. Fair point, because Sanjay Kumar, I had raised this to Sandeep Shastri as well, this question, because let's look at it. 2019, in the 5 big states of the South, 130 seats, the BJP got 29. That's that. Every time the Prime Minister goes south of the Vindhyas, the narrative there is regional pride in Tamil Nadu. He'll talk about guarantees in the state of Kerala. He doesn't talk about the Mandir or the temple. And where he does talk about the Mandir or the temple, like Ashutosh just elucidated, Sanjay Kumar, that belt or the Hindi heartland was maximized. Even in a state like Assam or a Punjab or an Odisha, the mandir will not have that much of attraction that it would, and it already has in Uttar Pradesh or a Madhya Pradesh or a Rajasthan or a Gujarat.
Preeti, I agree with Ashutosh that BJP and Prime Minister Modi does not have the same attraction in the southern state as BJP has in the North Indian state. Also, that Mandir may not have the euphoric, sentiments. It will not arouse the sentiments, same kind of sentiments in the South Indian state as it might arouse in the North Indian state. But my slight disagreement is that yes, we keep thinking that BJP has maximized in the many North Indian states, whether it is UP, Bihar, Madhya Pradesh, Rajasthan, and we can keep taking names of many states. That Rajasthan BJP had 125 out of 25, in Madhya Pradesh BJP had 128 out of 29. But also look at the margin of victory BJP had in all these states, a huge margin. In Rajasthan, out of 25 seats, BJP had polled more than 50% votes in 23 seats.
True.
So this narrative that BJP has maximized in many of these states and the only possibility for BJP is to come down, I think I would be very, very cautious, and I don't buy this argument that BJP will certainly come down compared to 2019. We were looking at the same narrative in 2019 when we were approaching to 2019 elections, comparing it with 2014, because in 2014 also in all the Hindi heartland state BJP had scored more or less like that, and many people expected that BJP will certainly come down, which did not happen. After what is happening in Ayodhya now, 22nd of January, and post Ayodhya, the kind of outreach program, I would say mobilization outreach program, give whatever name, but the way BJP workers are trying to mobilize the voter, trying to send out the message, this is not going to. This will allow BJP to at least maintain the status quo of 2019. I don't see BJP vote share coming down drastically in the Hindi heartland state. So my own sense is that also, if you look at the big data,
right.
2024, there are 224 Lok Sabha seats where BJP had got more than 50% votes in 2019 election. And if you look at, there are only 5 or 6 seats where out of these 225, where BJP victory margin was just 20 or 25,000. But in rest other seats, the margin was very big. So my own reading is that it is very, very difficult for me to imagine that BJP's vote share will come down in the Hindi heartland state, despite what is happening in Ayodhya, by such a margin that BJP will come down in the North Indian state. I don't see that happening in 2024.
Ashutosh wants to interject you. Ashutosh, would you just, you want to come in, quickly come in, and we'll cut across to the other guests.
No, I'm not contesting the argument that the BJP's vote share will drastically come down in North India. I'm certainly not contesting. I'm saying even if the BJP improves its vote share, like in 2019, the BJP in Madhya Pradesh got 58% vote share. In Chhattisgarh, they got 50.70 vote share. So even in Chhattisgarh, they increases their vote share from 50% to 60%. Will it convert into the votes or into the seats? There is no possibility, because this has already maximized over there.
Lots of
so
things,
issue
right.
is the BJP. So what I'm saying is that the BJP might come closer to the majority numbers, but to score more than 300 and score, BJP has to done something drastically in Bihar and in Maharashtra on its own, where they are facing serious problem this time. And that's why I'm saying, so I'm not contesting the argument that BJP's vote share is coming down drastically, or seats are coming down drastically. Last time they got 204 seats out of the 303 in North India.
Lots of hands going up, and I'm going to, because it's great to have analysts. Nobody talks over each other, which is beautiful. But Dr. Shastri, come in, sir. You wanted to quickly come in. And then Mr. Tiwari will come to you, and Mr. Singh. Go ahead, Dr. Shastri.
And don't forget me.
Yes, sir, you too,
like
Mr.
Shah. 2 points at this stage. I'd like to just make 2 points at this stage. One, if you look at the impact of the Ayodhya campaign and developments in the next few weeks, I think the BJP is aiming to do 2 things. One is sustain the support that it got in 2014 and 19 in those states. In the states where it had a very high strike rate, I think we need to also concede the fact that after 2 consecutive victories, there may be a chance of a slight dip in the support because of having been in power for 10 years. The BJP would like to offset that using the Ayodhya, the Mandir factor. So I'm seeing the Mandir factor in states where it had a high strike rate as a way of sustaining their support.
All right.
And secondly, they would also want to use this to expand their support in certain states where their strike rate was not necessarily high. And finally, Preeti, I would agree with Sanjay ji and that in the south, this is not going to be a major factor in the election, and the south will not be that much influenced by the Ayodhya factor. Those who would support the BJP on that are already with the party, and it will not expand the vote of the party.
You know, okay, Amitabh Tiwari, you wanted to come in because Dr. Shastri is talking about expanding, the voter base and expanding the impact of the Bharatiya Janata Party, because after 24, there are multitude of state elections which are lined up, and the BJP would be hoping to expand in those states as well. Haryana, Odisha, Maharashtra, they're all in line.
See, essentially, the Hindi heartland has 225 seats. In 2019, BJP on a standalone basis won 187. So what it needs is, essentially, it needs to maintain its tally. What Ashutosh ji is saying is that it will not be able to get seats or in southern states or probably some of the eastern states. It does not require that. There are two ways it can win. One is it loses some seats in the Hindi heartland but makes up for it in the southern India. The other way is it to just maintain what it has got in 2019. And as I said earlier, the Ram Mandir inauguration, and as Shastri ji has also pointed out, is going to neutralize the impact of anti-incumbency and some of the seats which it might have lost due to some amount of disillusionment being built up amongst the voters. That number one. Number two, you asked the question to Sanjay ji about how does it increase the vote share from 50% to 55%. Now, on 224 seats, it got more than 50% votes. This trick has been used by BJP in Gujarat for a long time. It just needs to increase the turnout of its voters in these states. It may not lead to an increase in seats, but it will lead to an increase in vote share. That's number one. Number two, unlike Congress, which is likely to contest on a lesser number of seats, BJP this time is likely to contest on 475 to 500 seats because of the fact that the allies like Shiv Sena, JDU, Akali Dal have left the alliance. So BJP will contest on more seats. It will get some votes. Whatever votes it gets, it adds to its tally of vote share. And there is a misconception about BJP and NDA. BJP has only 17 seats in Bihar. NDA's tally might reduce from 39 to whatever, but BJP's tally could even increase. BJP has just 23 seats, if I'm not wrong, in Maharashtra. It's not 41. NDA tally is 41. Correct. So BJP here could also increase its tally, may increase. So a decline of NDA is not equal to a decline of BJP. BJP has also a chance to increase in tallies in all these states which are being discussed because of the misconception of NDA equal to BJP. And the last point is, we talk a lot about BJP being maxed out. Congress has also maxed out in Kerala 19 out of 20, which is almost 40% of its total seats. UPA has maxed out in Tamil Nadu, almost sweeping all the seats. So this maxing out concept also applies to the opposition parties as well. So of course, it's an ambitious target. We have to see whether it works or not. It's just one of the factors.
But as I bring in, Sanjay saying, but the fact is, sir, in places like Kerala, it's only going to come into the same kitty, whether Congress maxes it out or the left maxes it out. Or if the Aam Aadmi Party does well or the Congress does well in Punjab.
No, but if Congress's tally reduces, then it is likely to reduce its bargaining power.
Well,
and for
enough.
the third consecutive time, its performance will not be up to the level of its past performances.
Fair enough. But okay, Sanjay Singh, what Mr. Tiwari was also saying is to get the voters to come out. Now, there's no other party which does it better than the BJP to increase voter turnout. But having said that, what's the plan of the BJP? Because you see this huge thrust right now where the Ram Mandir is. But, it's also straddling, looking at certain seats it's identified in the south where they want to, go big and maximize in the south as well.
If you look at a situation, in south you have Anna Malai, who is kind of creating waves.
But Sanjay Singh, many would say Anna Malai is a Delhi phenomena and lesser in Tamil Nadu.
No, I am afraid not. He may be a Delhi phenomena because he speaks well in television studios and in TV, whatever news channel conclaves. So, but nonetheless, somebody from South is darling of media channels and for media conclaves. That a positive point for the BJP. Of course, in my experience, whenever I have gone to Ayodhya, on past many occasions, that may not translate into that number of votes to gain BJP that number of seats. But I found many people, perhaps more than people visiting from North India or Central or East India, South Indian people were there. So that impact, I don't know how far it catapults into the number of seats, but of course that resonance could be there. But then this same thing was being talked about West Bengal in 2019. West Bengal came out as a surprise. BJP may have a chance to maximize their seats there. Kerala, of course, continues to be a challenge. But as Amitabh Tiwari was saying, 19 out of Congress. In Kerala, last time there was a perception that Rahul Gandhi was going to become Prime Minister of the country. And therefore, not just Wayanad. Wayanad, of course, he got huge support from IUML, but also from the rest of the state. People actually voted. They thought that somebody who is going to represent the state is going to be the Prime Minister. Tamil Nadu, of course, this time Tamil Nadu may give some positive news for the BJP because as it is, if you look at DMK and Congress combined and the rest of allies are at the peak. UP, of course, BJP will gain. I'd like to correct a bit to Ashutosh about Bihar. Bihar 2014, BJP performed very well. Nitish Kumar was reduced to 2 numbers and RJD very good managed few seats. 2019, of course, JD was part of NDA of the BJP, and it was Modi's picture which JDU used to get 16 seats. The maximum 39 out of 40 was the NDA's tally. Karnataka, of course, last time there was JDU, Congress Alliance, and BJP did exceedingly well. In Chhattisgarh, of course, if the number goes, who knows, maybe last time they had 9, this time may have 11. So, would be targeting something, I think they are talking chance of power is for the NDA allies in total. I don't know. But the big question is, the only question to me, so far, my assessment was how far the BJP can go, how far the BJP can go from their current number of 303.
All right, okay. Ashutosh, you want to come in, but may I just bring in Sanjay Jha and I'll come to you right after that. He's been wanting to, come in for a while. But, Sanjay Jha, from what Mr. Singh just said, the fact is the BJP is identified and pinpointed their seats in the south that they want to go big on. Even if it is a place like Kerala where they've had little, traction in 2019, they know exactly the 4 seats that they're going to go big on and, put all in those seats. Similarly, in other places. So there's a plan. But, I want to come back to where the Mandir debate is concerned. For the Congress, Sanjay Jha, the Ram temple has always been a dilemma. They have never known what side of the divide to stand on. They never know, even now, to go, not to go. There's always a sense of confusion, and the perception amongst people is appeasement, that you don't know what to do because appeasement.
Oh, well, I'm glad you asked the question because, it links to what I wanted to actually tell you and the fellow panelists here. Everybody is getting into granular details about state-wise what can happen. They are pretty brave and adventurous. I'm not going to hazard any guesses there. But there are 2 large messages that we need to keep in mind. Go back, Preeti, to the 2009 elections to 14, where you saw the big jump in the BJP vote share. So in 2009, the BJP at around 116 Lok Sabha seats had approximately 18.5% of the national vote share. That moved to 31% in 2014. Now, you don't have to be a genius to know that jump, which is nearly 75% jump, did not happen because overnight the voter became Hindutva. It is not true at all. Overnight, the people actually supported the BJP because they saw this big development story. Now, that is the fundamental issue that we got to keep in mind. The mistake that a lot of people are making, including the opposition, including the Congress, including the India Alliance, is to believe that every Modi supporter or voter is pro-Hindutva. I don't think that is the case. Even between 2014 to 19, the vote share goes from 31 to 37, which is like a 20%, significant. But to believe that everything happened because of Hindutva is again a fallacy. A lot of it happened because of Pulwama, hyper-nationalism, etc. But clearly the BJP voters who are traditional, who will vote with the BJP ideologically, is probably in the range of 15 to 18% that I think they can take as almost like a guarantee, which is the point that I'm making, Preeti. A large part of India is a swing voter base. We are not like America, which is like some red states and blue states, and 6 states will decide who's going to become the president. We are not a two-party system like the UK, which is like Labour and Conservative.
Okay.
India is up for grabs in a lot of ways. And I think it's going to be a question, in my opinion, on how intelligently the opposition is able to do some seat distribution. Number 2, to communicate the issues and not fall into the trap repeatedly of the BJP's Hindutva campaign. It is important.
Sanjay Jha, the fact is, I'll ask you a quick question and I'll go to Ashutosh. The charge which is often leveled at the Congress is falling into its own trap. Now, I'll ask you that question again, because when it comes down to the Ram Mandir, it's been a tightrope walk for the Congress. It's been a clear dilemma. You could have taken full credit for it. The doors of the Ram Mandir were opened under Rajiv Gandhi on your watch. You were not able to even capitalize on that.
Well, one of the suggestions that I'll tell you very publicly that I have actually given to the India Alliance is that you need to tell the people of India very categorically that the BJP might say it in your manifesto that, we want to build the Ram temple, but it would not have happened had it not been for the Supreme Court verdict. And there's a big difference between the BJP's polarization campaign vis-a-vis Ram Rajya. And the India Alliance should actually appropriate Ram Rajya itself.
But Sanjay Jha,
not worry about anything
whether
else.
we like it or whether you don't like it, the fact is that it's been on the manifesto of the BJP. Many people who followed that today will look at this as deliverance. This is perception. Whether it translates into vote is up for discussion, and that's why we are here. Ashutosh, you wanted to come in. Go ahead, make your point.
Yeah. See, Preeti, 2 things I think before I got misunderstood. First of all, I'm certainly not underestimating the BJP's organizational and the election machinery potential. Absolutely not. Secondly, the Modi phenomenon, I'm not underestimating. What I'm saying is that Modi phenomenon, the organizational strength, when they are at par with each other, there the Modi gets unbeatable. But where the BJP's organization is weak, then the Modi phenomenon, the Modi cult even doesn't work. And that's why within the context, let's remember 2019. 2019, the BJP had an alliance with Janata Dal United and Shiv Sena and Akali Dal. And all three were the formidable forces in the respective states. This time, Akali Dal is not with the BJP, and BJP will be fighting alone in Punjab. And so, its winning seats, I have my doubt. In Bihar, there is a formidable alliances against the BJP. There is Janata Dal United, RJD, Congress, CPI, CPM, CPI, ML. Within that, can the BJP still win 17 seats? Don't forget, BJP was in alliance with JDU. So BJP got 17 seats. How many JDU and Nitish has voted for the BJP? We forget that. We only think it's only the BJP votes which is voted for the BJP. It doesn't work. Otherwise, the coalition have no meaning. Similarly, in Maharashtra, this time, Shiv Sena is divided, NCP is divided, but the mother organization and their top leaders are still with the Congress and NCP. So it's not that easy. Yes, I can take one simple example of Uttar Pradesh. Last time, the Samajwadi Party and the BSP, they were together. BJP improved its vote percentage from 42% in 2014 to 49%, 49.98%. But its seats come down from 73 to 62. That means despite increasing their vote share, due to the coalition, the BJP lost 10 seats. Within that context, I'm saying, without underestimating Modi and the BJP, the sheer arithmetic at the ground level in Bihar, in Maharashtra, and in Tamil Nadu, and don't forget about Tamil Nadu, why AIDMK has decided to leave BJP. There must be some reason. So, To say that BJP is creating waves in Tamil Nadu, I don't buy that argument. Otherwise, AIDMK would not have dissed BJP and would have gone alone in Tamil Nadu. So situation is not that rosy as the BJP wants to project, or the Modi wants to project through the media. In Bihar, Maharashtra, these are the states where the BJP is vulnerable and their seats can come down drastically.
All right. Okay, as we wind down this debate, let's, take it right from the top. And Mr. Kumar, I'll come back to you. And the question I want to ask you is, of what went down, like I said, if we focus on the Ram Mandir and we, focus on one of the key narratives of the Bharatiya Janata Party in electioneering, and that has been religion, that has been Hindutva. So what happened in 1989, coming up with a resolution, deliverance now after 34 odd years, over that, do you see the party reach its zenith in performance this time around? Do you see that happening as a psephologist?
Sorry, I couldn't get the question, Preeti.
Sanjay Kumar, the question is, whatever the BJP gets this time, and we've seen the trajectory of the political party, at least where one of its key narratives, Hindutva, is concerned. Do you see the political party reach its zenith, that in electoral performance this time?
No, absolutely. I think I have a slight disagreement when people say that 2014 election was on Hindutva. My own sense is that 2014 election was not on Hindutva. Neither was 2019. 2019 was more on nationalism. 2014 was more on anti-corruption. But this is the election which I think BJP is going to pitch in largely and very aggressively on Hindutva. And this is the time when BJP is trying to reap the most of the benefits from the one big issue which they have been, propagating for a very long time. So yes, they have been always saying that, they are for Hindutva, they want to build Ram temple, etc. But I think the biggest gain for BJP on the basis of Ram Mandir is about to come in 2024 election. BJP has not gained as much as BJP may have expected earlier on the issue of Hindutva and the issue of Ram temple. This is the moment for BJP to maximize the electoral gain on the issue of Ram temple.
Dr. Shastri, do you concur?
Not fully with Sanjay ji on that. I think the BJP is crafting a political strategy which involves multiple voices, multiple strategies, project a voice which is important in a particular area, outline a strategy which is important in a particular area. So Ram temple will be important in certain parts of the country, important with certain voters. They will project it there. As you yourself said, the Prime Minister's speech in South India hardly spoke about the Ram temple issue. So I think the BJP is cleverly coming up with multiple voices, multiple strategies.
Right.
And that I think is key to what they would do in the 2024 elections. And as Sanjay ji said, it all depends on whether the opposition alliance can come up with an equally engaging set of alternative strategies. And there I think would be the game that the 2024 Lok Sabha elections will show.
And Sanjay Jha, that's what many say is also the trap which the Congress falls in, because you make the BJP about Hindutva and it's really not. It's a part of it. It's like an onion. There's a fair amount of social engineering which the BJP has been successful in. So it's been actually the true amalgamation of Mandal and Kamandal.
Preeti,
and La Bharati, the word you don't quite like.
No, let me tell you one thing, Preeti. As a student of economics, I look at the numbers in terms of development very closely. And why I believe the India Alliance has an opportunity is because of that. India has seen rising poverty in reality. There has been inequality. Income equality is extremely high in our country. There has been serious rural distress. The urban unemployment is a major challenge. If you look at the larger issues of food inflation, forget, we are not even talking about corruption, etc. It's humongous. And that brings me to the point that Narendra Modi actually has been able to camouflage the developmental failures under the hyper-nationalism and Hindutva cocktail. But I think 10 years later, this could be an opportunity for another India's shining redux.
But, you
if
know,
the
Sanjay Jha,
opposition
that's-
is able to really campaign, you
But Sanjay
actually
Jha-
might have the common man saying enough is enough.
But Sanjay Jha, that's where a lot of people will disagree because, like, you know, you fall into the trap of nationalism and Hindutva. It's not that the BJP is not that, but the BJP is so much more. When you talk about managing elections, where I spoke of social engineering, it's been supremely successful in doing all of that. Ashutosh wants to make a point and we are wrapping up. So quick comments, Ashutosh, and then we'll cut across to Mr. Tiwari and Sanjay Singh.
See, I slightly disagree with Sanjay. What I'm saying is that the BJP story is still not over. BJP story is still work in progress. So it's like Congress in 1956 contesting election, 1962 contesting elections. So those who are thinking that the BJP's vote share and the seats will come down drastically in 2024, I'm certainly not buying that argument. What I'm saying is that the kind of hype which has been created around the Mandir and the Hindutva, that has that keeps me little wary of. It's more of a propaganda in that sense. But I'm not saying that the BJP story is over and the BJP is going to lose in 2024. In the month of March and in the month of April, we will be in a position to exactly tell you where the BJP stands and where the India Alliance stands. Because today the BJP is on the roll, and India Gathbandhan is trying to do its nuts and bolts.
Well, you're right there, and I'm sure we're going to have the likes of all of you multiple times before that in the studio. But Sanjay Singh, you know, coming down to that and taking off from what even Sanjay Jha said, that people are tired. But, you know, there seems to be a multi-pronged strategy there. It's not just, you know, the BJP would like the Congress to only focus on Hindutva or nationalism, hyper-nationalism, of what the Congress calls it, but it's a little more than that. You know, state by state, there's social engineering, there's seat targeting, there's managing elections. Many would say Madhya Pradesh is a classic example of that.
Preeti, all three assembly elections, all three states, Madhya Pradesh, Chhattisgarh and Rajasthan, excellent example of social engineering, the way the new government was formed. I broadly agree with Sanjay Jha on his previous take that 2019 and 2014 and 19, plus Hindutva was not the central issue. Of course, this was in psyche. Narendra Modi personifies Hindutva. So wherever he stands, or Yogi Adityanath or Amit Shah stands, Hindutva is taken. Not more from that. The crux actually lay there. There is no transmission and distribution losses, as we called once in Delhi, T&D losses for electricity. And as Rajiv Gandhi had described, that loss is not there in socially beneficial schemes. The second thing, Narendra Modi's personal kind of people have started believing lower down the strata even more.
Well,
and aspirational India.
Well, okay. I'm going to take it from that because I'm running out of time. So I apologize to interrupt you. I just want to bring in for a final comment to Mr. Amitabh Tiwari as well. But what Mr. Sanjay Singh is saying, Amitabh Tiwari, there's credence to that. When you know, we've spoken of so many aspects, but we're talking about the Ram temple. There is also the larger-than-life cult status of Narendra Modi, who's delivered. You know, as we speak right now, our reporters on our ground are actually telling us there's a massive campaign in villages of the Hindi heartland where most people are going into villages and people are convinced that Modi is the avatar of Ram.
Yeah. So essentially, BJP is winning not just because of Hindutva, that's clear. Now let's put some numbers to what Sanjay Jha is saying. And as per CSDS numbers, 1/3 of BJP vote share is due to the Modi factor, almost. So if Modi factor is 37%, 12%, if BJP's vote share is 37%, 12% is Modi factor and 25% is the hardcore Hindutva vote. Now this 12%, does India bloc have a leader to attract this 12% of the voter? That is a key question, because 37% of the people are voting in the name of the PM face. So can you make a national election a local election? Very difficult. That's number one.
Can we leave it at
is an
number
emotional
one?
decision.
Amitabh Tiwari, I am urging you to leave it at number one right now because we've terribly run out of time. But we'll get the number two of what you wanted to say soon on the other show. I appreciate all 6 gentlemen for joining us, and thank you for actually a really great debate. We have few and far of those, keeping in mind most political debates get a little loud. But thank you. We'll have you back again soon. With that, we're going to wrap it up. Up next is my colleague Gaurav Sawant.